All right, Algebra 2, welcome to your Chapter 6 game plan right here. Algebra 2, I would write this down, okay, depending on, I forget what we talked about on Friday, but this is for real. This is what I want you to have ready for when I see you, hopefully Monday the 4th. All right, Honors Algebra 2, in this package, just do pages 1 through 7, and then in 6.4.6.5, you're going to have a separate video. So after page 7 here, Honors Algebra 2, go ahead and turn the video off because you guys have a separate 6.3.6.4 game plan. All right, here we go. I'm just going to provide you a few answers on each page, kind of tell you what to do, then you should be good to go. On page 1 here, just the warm-up, combine like terms. There you go, subtract. All we're doing is distributing, foiling. There's our answer for that warm-up. Now, f plus g of x is simply f of x plus g of x. F minus g of x is simply f of x minus g of x. So when it says f plus h of x, just do f of x plus h of x. That equation, which is f of x, add it to h of x and simplify like terms. Here, simply subtract the two equations. F of x minus g of x, make sure to put parentheses around all of g of x because you're going to change the sign on both of those two terms right there. Okay, a star means do it. Do this page. You should be good on the rest of this. Again, use partners. I'll take questions when I get back, but I think you can handle it. All right. F times g of x. That's just f of x times g of x. And f divided by g of x just means f of x divided by g of x. Again, the x here means both functions are in terms of x. That doesn't mean like multiply anything by x, another x. That just means both f and g are functions in terms of x, which that's the only variable you see, x, x, x. So f times h of x is simply, or I'm sorry, g times h of x is g of x times h of x. Put them next to each other and multiply. First, outer, inner, last. And f of x divided by h of x is simply that. Boom, you're done. All right, number 14, just do 5 times what f of x is plus 3 times what g of x is and combine like terms. And moving on, again, all of page 2. You can handle all of page 2. Do it. Page 3 even says hashtag game time at the top, so definitely do all of page 3. All right, just simply do g of x plus h of x, add them up, combine like terms, the two x's cancel. Just simply do h of x minus g of x. There you go. Put a parenthesis around g of x because you're subtracting a negative, you're going to add. Subtracting a negative, you're going to add. Subtracting 5 doesn't mean plus 5, you're subtracting 5. Multiply those two functions, got some distribution. There you go. On 7, just do g of x times h of x. All right, make sure to put parentheses around f of x. And just do 3 times f of x, and then add it to 4 times h of x. And combine like terms. Page 3, you can handle all by yourself. Page 4 is also pretty much fair game. F of -1 just means plug -1 in for x and give me the answer. Remember, we talked on Friday. We said that f of g of x, some books, folks, use like parentheses like this. Again, a bracket's just like a stronger parentheses. When you have parentheses within parentheses, I'm going to use bracket. You evaluate the inner function first. So you plug 2 in for x in the g equation right there. Evaluate, you get 19. That's a score at halftime. Then you're going to take, you're going to take 19 and plug it into the outer function. You're going to do f of 19. So plug 19 in for x right there. All right, and that's what you get. Number 4, do f of -3, plug -3 in for x. That was x squared minus 3x, so plug -3 in, you get 30. And then take that 30 and plug it in for x in the g equation. 8 times x plus 3. G of 0, so h times 0 plus 3 is 3. Then plug it into the f equation for x. 3 squared minus 7 times 3. And you're going to do all of page 4. All right, page 5 is on your own type of thing. Okay, same thing. Do f of 1. F of 1 is 10. Then plug 10 into the outer equation, which is g. 7 times 3 times 10. All right, no big deal. G of 2 first, you get 1, then plug 1 into f of x. All right. So this means you plug, you do f of 1 first, and then you plug the answer back into f of x. So the same equation is being used. Same thing here. Do g of 3. You get negative 2. Plug that in for x right there. All right, so do that whole page. That should be no big deal. Now, right here, folks, try these. Okay, we will come back, obviously, and talk about these. F of g of x, not times. F of g of x. Sometimes you'll see it written like this. Kind of looks like fog, but f of g of x. That's a composition. What is g of x? G of x is 2x plus 1. So instead of plugging just a number in for x right there, I'm going to plug in that whole expression. So in this equation right there for x, I'm plugging in 2x plus 1. So I'm going to do 5 times that, and I'm going to finish what f of x says, what it has, which is a minus 3. That's how I get 10x plus 2. So when you have an f of g of x or g of f of x, that composition, you're not just evaluating with a single number. You're going to get an expression as your answer. So g of f of x, that's what f of x is. You're going to plug a 5x minus 3 in for x in g's equation right there. So you're going to do 2 times what you're plugging in for x plus 1. Definitely have those two. We'll talk about the others later. Again, if you want to try them, that's all there is right there. Go ahead. G of h of x, write down what h of x is. It is x squared plus 6. So in g's equation, I'm plugging that entire expression in for x. So I'm going to do 5 times that expression plus 1. All right, we get that. All right, so try those for sure. And then on page 7, definitely do 1 through 7. Those are no big deal. F of g of 2, so I'm just plugging 2 in. I'm figuring out what g of 2 is. I'm writing what g of 2 is, okay, which is 17. I'm plugging 17 in for x in that f equation. H of 0, get negative 5. Plug negative 5 in for x in that g equation. Do f of 4, which is 7, and then plug 7 back into the f equation. 7 squared minus 9, 40. All right, g of h of x. So h of x is exactly, I'm just rewriting what it is. It's 4x minus 5. So g of x was 3 times what you're plugging in for x plus 11. I'm plugging in 4x minus 5 in for x. And there we go. That's page 7. So, really, I would really try number 8 as well. Okay. Really try number 8. Try to get that page done. Then we're going to skip. As the video says, we're going to skip to page 13. Everything else we'll do when I get back. Now, we saw that page 13 was pretty easy. In fact, I do this whole page for you. This is how we break down radicals, okay? We get 3 root 5. And I made a mistake here. That should be 5 root 2. We'll talk about this more when I get back. If 2 pairs break out, you multiply them. When taking the square root, there's really an imaginary 2 there. What pair gives you 49? 7 and 7. How many times is that 2? How many pairs of x are there in x squared? There'd be 6. You simply do 12 divided by 2. All right, so what's the square root of 64? 8. How many pairs of y? If you have 6 of them, 3. Again, just do that exponent divided by the little 2 on the outside. Again, if you're taking the square root, it's an imaginary 2. We pretty much dominated this on Friday. If you were gone, it shouldn't be too bad. Do x is 6 divided by 2. Y to the 5th or the 10th divided by 2. Square root of 111. 121 is 11. All right. There we go. 6x to the 1st, y to the 7th. 4x to the 4th, y squared. This time, but there's a 3, you're looking for the cubed root. What number multiplied by itself 3 times? You're looking for a triple, and that is 4. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Just divide the exponents. Boom. The cubed root of 27 is 3. And then divide the exponents. So yeah, you should definitely have this whole page because I gave you answers over the whole page. Now on page 14, you're mostly going to do that on your own. Here are 4 answers right there. Okay, so take a look at those. You can't have a negative if you're taking an odd root, okay? Because a negative times a negative is a negative. If you multiply negative 5 times, you get a negative, okay? There we go. And this game time section, take a look at 1 and 4. And lastly, 6 and 9. We're going to wrap up this video really quickly here. So yeah, do all of page 14. That should be no big deal. On page 15, do all but 10 through 12. So do 1. Here's just do g of x plus f of x, combine like terms. Just do f of x minus g of x. Make sure to put a parenthesis around all of g of x, or else you're going to call it plus 11 instead of minus 11. Just multiply f of x and g of x. Foil, baby, foil. F of 3 is 2. Plug 2 in for x in the g equation, 15. Okay, so g of f of x is x squared minus 7. G of x was 2 times what you're plugging in for x plus 11. So what you're plugging in for x is x squared minus 7. And just complete that equation, that expression there. All right, f of 4 is 9. Plug 9 in for x in the f equation one more time. Do 9 on your own. 13, just square root of 121 is 11. Divide the exponents. You know, divide the exponent with the root, that's what I mean. Cubed root of 8 is 2. 6 divided by 3, 15 divided by 3 for the exponents, and there you go. All right, folks, this is your last video for a little bit. So we'll try around Wednesday or Thursday to see if we can get a video with our new co-star, Elsie May, who will hopefully make her arrival in the next 48 hours. All right, this is Yak Math Videos signing out.